Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here, and in today's video, I'll be talking about a possible secret weapon that the Washington Commanders have that they could use against the Philadelphia Eagles, who last time he played them actually had a significant impact against them. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button and that notification bell as well so you never miss a video. We're really close to 15K subscribers, like 200 away, 300 away. Just hit that button. It's free. It takes 1 second. If you're an Eagles fan, go ahead and hit that button too to get some good insight on your enemy, the Commanders, for this week at least. But yeah, we're just going to be talking about a player that I think could make a big impact that you guys might not think will, or haven't really thought about the player in a while because he hasn't really done much recently. And we'll just talk about some other things that I want to talk about for this game, and things that we have an advantage on, things that they have an advantage on, because this is going to be a good matchup. I think two very good teams, and both matchups that happened earlier on in the year, I believe, were a little bit uneven. The first game played at Philly, which we're going to be playing this week against them at 3 p.m. on Sunday, but Jayden Daniels was hurt. He was playing, so there, you can say no excuses or whatever, but he was hurt and he wasn't fully good to go. He was good to go, but he wasn't fully healthy. And, you could see that in his throwing. It wasn't all the way there. He couldn't make throws down the field as much. They had to rely more on the run game and the defense, which kept him in for a lot of the game until the end there when Saquon just went off and the Eagles won that game handedly. I mean, it ended up being a one-score game, but they the last 6, 7, 8 minutes, they kind of dominated, besides maybe the last minute or two where the Commanders scored a touchdown. And then the next game, obviously, Jalen Hurts goes down, so it wasn't an even matchup, but still the Commanders put up 36 points against them. And, the Eagles defense was still out there. It was just the Eagles offense wasn't able to produce a lot, but they still put up 33 points. Let's talk about this advantage. Sorry, I just moved. I have my phone right in front of my computer screen, so I'm not looking too high up for y'all. But the player I think, and you probably saw from the thumbnail, that I think could be the secret weapon is Luke McCaffrey. And you might be like, well, why Luke McCaffrey? He hasn't played, not that he hasn't played, but he hasn't really done anything in a few weeks, hasn't made an impact, hasn't gotten a lot of catches. And that's true. I mean, the beginning of the year, the guy was getting, he was like our number 2, number 3 receiver. And at this point, I mean, obviously Terry's above him, Diami's above him, Zaccheaus is above him, Crowder's above him. I mean, that's 4. He's at best wide receiver 5. And honestly, I mean, I'm trying to think of some names. There's guys above him as well. So he's not getting a lot of PT as a pass catcher. But last time they played the Eagles, he got 3 targets. He got a catch for 13 yards. And also one thing to keep in mind, and this might be why he's not getting a lot of catches or a lot of opportunities, is Jayden, when he targets him, is not that good. Even when Luke's wide open, he just doesn't hit him. He, in that game, had 2 interceptions, Jayden Daniels did, and both were when he targeted Luke McCaffrey. But he did have a catch for 13 yards. But both times it looked like Luke was open. Jayden just missed it there, and that was one of his, worst games. The thing is, he had a really good game. I don't know why I'm saying that was one of his worst games. It was a good game, but that was maybe one of his worst games in terms of just some of the decision making he made in that game, or maybe, I guess, not even decision. I don't know what I'm saying. He just missed the throws. I'm trying to think back at the game, and the decision making was there. Like, Luke was there. He just overthrew him. But Luke, if you remember that game, he was a beast returning kicks. He had 6 kicks returned for 184 yards. 31 yards per return, and a lot of those returns weren't hitting the end zone. So, they were, at the 4 or 5. So this is, he's getting the Commanders to the 40 almost every time. And he had a long of 47. And I know if Eagles fans are watching, they will say that their punter, and shout out to Mr. Grossman, my old teacher. I was talking to him about the game, and he mentioned that their punter was kicking off for them last time we played them. I don't know why, if Jake Elliott was injured or not. Eagles fans can educate me there, but he was kicking off, so that could affect things. But I did, after having that conversation on Twitter, I looked over and checked the first game, and the Commanders did have success. Eckler averaged like 30 yards a return in the first game against the Eagles. So even if it's Elliott kicking, which it will be, most likely, because that's what it's been ever since that game where Brandon Mann, I believe that's their punter, or Braden Mann, that's their punter who was kicking. It's probably going to be Jake Elliott, but still, I think Luke McCaffrey, I mean, it's the same special teams unit they're going up against, and the Commanders, for the most part, have the same special teams unit. I think he'll be able to have some success, and if he can help, and, obviously, if he breaks one and scores a touchdown, that would be amazing. But even if he can just get us, 35, 40 yards and get us in good field position, that's huge against a team like the Eagles that has a good defense. And with Sam Cosmi out, who is our best, one of our best, if not our best offensive lineman, him and Biadasz are very good. So it really sucks that he's out, and Trent Scott's going to be there. And, the offense might struggle with that. And, they didn't, though, against the Lions. But, the Eagles' defense is a different breed than the Lions. So I will say that, that is something that concerns me. And that's why you need to start off in good field position. You can't have these penalties on special teams. But I do want Luke McCaffrey to be out there and returning. And I think that could definitely help out the Commanders. Some other, not advantages, but some stuff to watch out for. The Eagles, Jake Elliott has been struggling as of late. I don't know why I was stuttering there. Against the Commanders last time, he was 4 for 5. I don't know which one he missed. He had a long of 50, so it was under 50, so that's not a great miss. He went 3 for 3 on extra points, though. The first game that the Commanders played against the Eagles, I believe he missed 2 kicks. He missed 2 kicks and an extra point, something like that. It was bad. It helped keep the Commanders in the game. And then last week against the Rams, albeit it was a snow game and it is harder, but he was making his field goals, but he missed 2 extra points. So that is concerning if I'm an Eagles fan. But the Commanders, they don't have an amazing kicker either. Gonzalez, I mean, he was 6 for 6 on extra points, which is good, but he did miss a, 44-yarder, made a 47-yarder, and did he make any other kicks? I'm trying to think. He might have made 2, but he did miss 1 against the Lions. So that's something to watch out for as well. For the Commanders, the biggest matchup, like I said, it's going to be, there's 2. Trent Scott versus Jalen Carter, which is not going to be good. They're going to have to help him out a lot. Biadasz is going to have a great game helping out Jalen Carter. Definitely not helping out Jalen Carter. Helping out Trent Scott or Nick Allegretti, whoever Carter is on that play. Another big matchup, A.J. Brown versus Marshawn Lattimore. Round 1 went to A.J. Brown, even though I believe there was some BS penalties called on Marshawn. But Marshawn had a really bad week against the Bucs. That was his first game back from the injury, the re-injury that happened actually against the Eagles. Not a good game, but you could tell he wasn't fully healthy. The Lions game was a lot better. It was a lot better. You didn't really see any bad plays from him. I didn't watch the film or anything, so maybe there was some bad plays. I don't know what he graded out on PFF. I don't think it was super high or super low, but again, he did well enough against the Lions, and you get an extra week, and it's a team you've already faced. He's familiar. I think he's faced them already 2 times this year because he played them with the Saints. So he's played them twice. He has had some success against A.J. Brown. He's had some failures. So it'll be a big matchup for sure. Another big matchup is trying to contain Saquon Barkley. I mean, whatever they can do. If he gets 6-7 yard runs, that's fine. But try to avoid those home run hits that he does, because it's a matter of time before it happens. It really is. And if you can somehow avoid that, that'll be great. I mean, he has 68-yard touchdown against us last time. And also, what I noticed, and I know Eagles fans get frustrated by it, is Kellen Moore, sometimes he goes away from the run too much. Like, they're successful with the run, and then they'll get a first down, or the next possession on first down, they'll just pass it, and then it'll be incomplete. And then it's 2nd and 10, and you're in a worse situation. So that's one of the biggest keys. I might make a preview video, but the next few days will also be injury update videos. But one of the biggest things is getting them to 2nd and 10, 2nd and 8 situations where they can't necessarily run the ball, because our run defense is not great. John Allen's playing better, and we got some guys, but still, our run defense isn't great. It's not good. And we've seen what those guys have done against us. Gibbs, Bijan a few weeks ago. Like it hasn't been great. So that's something to watch out for as well. But that's definitely a key. But try to get them to 2nd and 10, 2nd and 9, 2nd and 8 situations, and force them to pass on 3rd and long, because Jalen Hurts, that's not his strong suit. I'm not saying he's a bad passer, but that's not his strong suit. And also, he's injured. I don't know how. We'll see. TBD how injured he is. We'll know tomorrow if he's limited, full, or DNP. But he's definitely going to be banged up a little bit going in the game. Everyone is, but we'll see how much more than everyone else he's